Help us, Christine. We need your help. That's Dr. Christine. Is that Dr. Christine Lahti? Oh my God. Christine Lahti in space. She's in space now. Starring Christine Lahti as Dr. Christine Lahti and Alyssa Milano as Space Nurse. Christine Lahti, will you report to the nurse's station? In space. She has lots of friends and lots of patients, and her boss is also played by Alyssa Milano. So many special guest stars. Daphne Zuniga plays a pencil. Christine Lahti in space.
Christine Lahti in Space, Season 1, Episode 18, The Switch. When a fatberg clogs Saturn's outer ring.
Fatberg has clogged Saturn's outer ring. Oh my God, I'm having flashbacks to my surgery.
And several of her patients die suddenly without explanation.
No.
Dr. Christine
Can't lose patience.
Dr. Christine Lahti looks into the hospital's new drug supplier, Space Zempic,
Fatberg.
discovering that it may not be all that it seems.
No.
Meanwhile, after doing space laps in the hospital pool, special guest star Heather Locklear discovers that Princess Pencil, Daphne Zuniga, has the power to extricate Space Nurse Alyssa Milano from the Church of Necrogenesis. All she needs to do is press a special switch in Pencil Palace. However, when Pencil seems hesitant, she confesses that the monarchy still thinks she's dead.
No. What?
I know.
This is a lot.
It's a lot. Because we needed a bit of a one-off episode where there was sort of no royal stuff
and told backwards.
So
it feels like it's show's still inventive.
And you don't,
despite all this royal and necrogenesis business.
And you don't sort of realize that Space Nurse isn't in it.
No.
Because she's still stuck. She's the one sort of lingering thread that needs to be solved. And
I thought she was in the cupboards.
That was the boss, I think.
It was the boss that was in the cupboard. They're both played by Alyssa Milano. It's very confusing.
You're colourblind, just like Christine.
I'm colourblind. Yeah, just like just like Christine Lahti in space.
Exactly.
That is a lot to deal with. So we start off with the Fatberg trapped in the outer ring of Saturn.
Yeah.
And does that cause like a problem? Or is that just...
I like to think it does.
Okay.
Maybe a traffic situation?
Yeah, traffic situation. Yeah. There's obviously going to be casualties. So suddenly they're inundated with a lot of, new patients.
Yeah.
Possibly an attractive man that Christine Lahti might fall for. I don't know. That sometimes happens with
It's been a minute since Cakehead. So
Yeah, she hasn't hooked up with anyone since Cakehead, and her best friend Martian Pete is now Martin Mull.
I didn't mean that. I didn't mean to pick a name so close to Martian, but I'm really happy that it is.
So she's kind of under the pump with that, and her patients are all dying. So are all her patients dying suddenly that have come in from the Rings of Saturn Fatberg incident?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Or are there patients that were already there are suddenly all dying?
I think it's probably patients from the Fatberg area.
Yes.
And any kind of new patient, sometimes repeat patients. So it's not, whatever's happening is not happening, specifically at the hospital. It could be happening outside of it. But there's this new, sponsored drug company. And,
yes.
Maybe...
And is she thinks that the Space Zempic, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
So she thinks Space Zempic is to blame.
Possibly.
This miracle drug. What does Space Zempic do? What's it meant to be doing?
I don't know.
I think we all know what it is actually doing.
Yes.
it's Panadol from space.
Yeah.
It's space Panadol,
It is.
but they have to call it Space Zempic because Panadol is a trademark.
Well, obviously, that's...
That's really how that works. So the Space Zempic, so everyone's getting it. That's why it's everywhere. Everyone, like, because if it was a specific kind of drug that was only treating one thing, then it would not be a thing. So people are coming in. They're from the Fatberg. The Space Zempic's bad, and so we feel that there's something bad going on.
Yeah.
And is there someone sinister that has created the Space Zempic purely to murder a bunch of people?
Possibly.
Because they have a nefarious plan that requires a lot of death.
Oh, is it share? Is this cemetery?
Share the cemetery. If you don't listen to our other part of the podcast about share, it's a whole lot.
It is.
So I think what's happening is while Pencil's had to go back to the royal family that thinks she's dead to press the switch. So she has to go in disguise.
Right.
So she's having to have a very awkward conversation with space hairdresser, discount hairdresser Heather Locklear. Like, you know, they kissed. The last time we saw them, they'd kissed.
Yeah.
And we finally worked out why they'd been so awkward with each other for a whole episode.
Yeah.
So now it's like, I know we've been awkward with each other. I know there's the kiss, but I need your help.
Yeah.
Because I need you to give me a wig so no one recognizes me when I go back to the pencil monarchy.
Yeah.
Because I've got to press the switch that gets nurse Alyssa Milano out of the Necrogenesis church.
Yeah.
And when she gets there, she discovers that the reason the nurse has stayed in the Church of Necrogenesis is because she knew Diane Keaton was still alive and thriving, and she had planted the Fatberg.
No. Oh,
and
Diane.
also, she invented the Space Zempic.
She did.
Because necro means death.
Yes.
And Genesis
to kill
means
everyone.
life.
Yeah.
So she needs to kill a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
And where the life goes is into her. It gives her longevity and more power. So all these people are dying, and she's got like some mystical wand business that channels the energy of
She's
death.
a cyborg, so it's all
She is
very
mostly
through electricity.
cyborg,
And,
Yeah. So her electricity comes from the spark of death.
I didn't
people
expect Diane Keaton to make a return so soon.
She just comes back all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's their evil enemy. So
We don't even
Daphne's
necessarily have to see her in this episode.
No.
but her presence is felt.
Yeah, no, that's what Nurse Alyssa Milano tells Daphne Zuniga in a wig after she's pressed the switch to go, oh no, you didn't need to press the switch.
My favourite.
You nearly got caught by your family. I was here undercover finding out about Diane
I can leave
Keaton's
any time,
plans.
actually,
I
it
could
turns out.
always go.
Yeah.
I just needed, to find out about the Space Zempic. I've known about this all along
Yes.
because I'm the only one that does the fucking ordering.
I have to negotiate with myself, the boss. All
Yes,
the time.
I've got to negotiate with the boss to get the cheaper stuff. And she was like, no, we're not going with the expensive one. We need the Space Zempic because it's half the price. And of course it's half the price. It's going to kill people on remote control.
Yeah. I'm also loving this idea that the pencil's wig is exactly the same as her regular hairstyle.
Oh, absolutely.
But in her head, I look so different.
Yeah, my parents will not recognize
won't
me. And no one
recognise
does
me.
because they're pencils. And I don't want to be pencilist, but they do all look the same.
Yeah. Someone had to say it. And
Did I tie up all the
maybe
threads?
what's left of the dead people when Diane Keaton has absorbed them, all that's left is the fat. And that's what she used.
That's what she made the fatberg out
the
of.
fatberg.
Yes.
And maybe
It's the Space Zempic fatberg.
maybe Saturn's rings are, there's something in that sort of energy that is messing with her recharging.
Oh, maybe.
So it's killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Well, a few stone, actually, based on how big it is. Sharon Stone, even, because she's in the background. The fatberg is played by Sharon Stone.
Many Sharon Stones.
Just covered in gelatin, really, in painted yellow. I think that's everything. Oh, and just I think that the special guest star Heather Locklear, discount hairdresser, and Princess Pencil are doing space laps in the pool, probably to try and resist, temptations.
Yeah, but the space laps in the pool was because, she was working up the courage to say, I need your help.
Yeah.
And that was, she knew that Heather Locklear went for the space swims in the space laps in the pool.
Yes.
So, yeah, she was just keeping up to go, oh, God, I'm worried about the tension and the, potential pencil lesbianism.
Yeah, and just the reaction.
Because it's the 90s. It's controversial still. So, yeah, she was just she didn't know how to broach the topic of needing new hair that looked exactly the same as the hair she already had.
Okay, I feel that we've covered everything. It's sad. It was a high death count in this episode.
Oh, yeah, but they were all extras, so it didn't matter. Yeah. They can come back. We wouldn't even know. No.
So do we think that by the end of the episode, Dr. Lahti and, she's come in with this information has been brought back to her. And she's like, okay, I'm going straight to the boss and we are cutting this Space Zempic drug.
We're going to have to cut more budgets everywhere because we're going to have to get the doubly priced drug that we were using instead of Space Zempic.
It's going to be tough. Times are tough.
That is going to be a very difficult conversation to have.
I think we're good.
We are. What happens in this
Good
show?
is an interesting word.
Yeah.
But
Do you know what I love about this show is the writers don't really care what happened in the episode before. They just start off with something completely unhinged and strange.
And yet somehow we managed to make it work. I don't know how. I did look back at the fact that you mentioned in the Christmas episode that Christine Lahti has no other family other than Sunset. I was like, right, okay. But she'll probably have a cousin at some point. Cousin Pilati.
Look, that's the only family. Just because she thinks she has no other family,
Yes, it is a space.
I think we know someone who has an ex-brother and an ex-sister who would think of themselves as having no family, but really there's still some family.
Okay. Yeah, good to know. Looking forward. All right.
So, Lahti can, also, have you ever watched a television show? People with no family suddenly have sisters.
Especially in the 90s.
Yeah. It was just no, I've got a fourth sister. We don't know where she came from.
Yeah.
But the other one got fired.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
We just have another sister.
Yeah.
I don't know how the power of 3 became the power of 4, but it went back to 3. Sort it out. It'll be fine.
Speaking of charming things,
Yes.
I need to find out what the name of next week's episode is, and I have a feeling it might have something to do with that.
So next week is episode 19, Third Moon's the Charm.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. I wonder what I'll come up with for that.
I really should not have given you that title, should I? I've already got 2 Alyssa Milanos. Can we get another one in?
We'll find out.
The power of 3 Milanos. That's what she really wanted the show to be.
Yeah. That's what I wanted the show to be.
Yeah. Well, and also she would have been like, oh no, but I want the checks for all the characters.
And the teeth.
And the teeth. All right. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, Lahtis.
Help us, Christine. We need your help. That's Dr. Christine. Is that Dr. Christine Lahti? Oh my God. Christine Lahti in space. She's in space now. Starring Christine Lahti as Dr. Christine Lahti and Alyssa Milano as Space Nurse Christine Lahti. Will you report to the nurse's station? In space, she has lots of friends and lots of patients, and her boss is also played by Alyssa Milano. So many special guest stars. Daphne Zuniga plays a pencil.